It felt very like surreal, like sort of like first like impressions of seeing like this house. I already had an intention to disrupt the space. I think just my presence alone sort of does that. I was like out of place, but like I was supposed to kind of like be there. My name is Sonia Mwambu. I am an editor and experimental alternative filmmaker. When I first saw like this space, when like I walked, I was like, it's beautiful. Like it's just like it's absolutely stunning, and I was so grateful for the opportunity to be able to like shoot a film here. So the film itself, I kind of see it as sort of existing in the past, the present, and somewhere in between, sort of like this story. So you have, sort of like the main person, like Mary Austin, she's from the past, and then we cut to this woman who is more like, she's in the present, like more modern kind of thing, and they're noticing each other, like they're seeing each other and they're recognizing each other, but it's still a sort of like disconnect. And then we have the two other women who are like sort of staff, and they're in the past, but they fluctuate between sort of like times. And so it's just circa and then whatever the time is that these women exist in. And so for me, like when I was doing my research, I'm finding out about these women, I'm finding out about Mary Austin, but I'm not hearing the stories of, like the other people who lived in the house. And so when like imagining sort of like these stories, like my favorite like storyline is like the two like sort of like servant like staff who kind of have like this secret romance. Like this like must have happened like at some point, like kind of thing, but then for me to see it like with like these these Black women, I was just like, it's just like we would stop rolling and like we'd all look at each other and be like, did that just happen? Like, did we just do that? And so like what I would tell like my actors, who was like, you're supposed to, like, you're meant to be here. Act like, like this is your space, this is your house, these are your story that like you want to tell. I had a lot of awakenings with this piece, just within like my own practice as like a filmmaker, and just like honing in on like what my voice is and like what my style is with filmmaking, and then also being able to create this piece in like a space where I'm working alongside a crew of like mainly like Black women, and like I've never been on a film crew where it was like majority women of color. Like I've never been like in that sort of space, and then to have them help me tell these stories as well, like it was just like a layer on layer, and I was like, this is how I want to like continue to like practice and like do this work.
This all looks wonderful. This all is very, very interesting. But my instinct is how to now shape this into something that's more than just shots and, what I'm saying, moments, and something that a viewer feels like they're getting pulled into something, that involuntary subconscious pull that art can have.
Actually, I've met him before because I did the Oya Media's sort of like emerging like Black filmmakers program, and he came in and he did a little workshop for us. So like in this like aspect, I always find it very interesting engaging with folks about my work who are come from more of like a narrative sort of like style.
The subconscious of story structure and storytelling is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And to bring that into this will really elevate what you've got going on. But it's terrific. You're starting from a great place.
So it's very interesting to engage with folks about like my work who do something that's the complete sort of like opposite of that. Like I hope people like would come away from it like sort of like questioning, and sort of if they're feeling sort of like a little like uneasy, or they're feeling, I just want them to come away like questioning it, to be like, why haven't I seen this before, right? Like why wasn't it just a story about the people like who did live in like the house kind of thing. But we know those stories. We don't need to like hear that again. And the fact that we don't know about these other people, like I would hope that people question why is it that those are like the dominant stories? Why is it those are the only stories being told? And how is it that we can move to a space where everybody can have access to like those untold stories.